Hey everybody, it's Paul, and today I'm going to show you how easy we can take this stock footage and make it look like it came out of Hollywood. You know, we're gonna key this, put some backgrounds in, stick some stuff on the front windshield to kind of make it feel like they're flying down the road, and then I'm going to color grade it. Now I'm going to see how fast I can crank this out. So don't go running off. Here we go. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is kind of want to pare down this footage. I don't need all of it. So I'm going to grab this is my footage right here, and we got that. So I'm going to pull this down and start in composition. Got a nice little comp there. Now I'm going to grab my background shot, which I have right here. It's nothing fancy, just kind of going through town. I don't know if going through town is the way to go on this. Let's drag this out here, see where we get. We get out here in the open. Yeah, I kind of like that better. So let's see. Let's put a marker there. We'll put a marker there. Let's pull this guy down. All right. So first thing you got to do is you got to key this out. But there's a lot of green in this footage. This was shot with a Canon 750D, or the T6i, as it's commonly called, and I actually shot this footage last summer, I think. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. We're going to see how fast we can do this. I'm going to call this source, and then we're going to call this one, rename this to mask. And the reason we're going to call this mask, and it's actually going to go above the source, is we're going to key this out, the green out initially, but there's a lot of green throughout the shot. You can see it's a pretty noisy shot. And what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a matte mask. So we're going to grab our key light, and we're going to throw that on our mask. And we're just going to start by keying out the greenest area we got, and let's turn off these others so we can see. That's actually not too bad, but at the same time, it's not too good because now it looks like he's got varicose veins inside of his head. So let's fix that. The way you do that is you go ahead and you switch this over to a status, and you're going to see how ugly this image is. Black is completely see-through, gray is somewhat quasi-see-through, and white is completely solid. So we want our whites to be white, and our blacks to be black, and our grays to be white, I think. Yes, I'm going with that. So now we've keyed this out pretty good. You know, it's actually not bad. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to screen matte, and there's really not a lot you got to play with here. You can clip down your whites, and that's going to fill this in. You can keep going. You can keep going. You can keep going. Oh, that's good. And then you can bring out your blacks if you want to. You can, because we get this little spot right there. You don't want to go over the 68. You don't want to go. You don't want to fill in the steering wheel either. So we're going to pull this down. It's going to climb up there. No, I don't want to go that high. So we're almost there. We're so close. So let's see if we. I don't want to shrink it. I don't want to grow it there. No, let's not do that. So the next thing we can do is we can kind of continue to go with this. Try and pull this out as best you can. I don't want to get too crazy because we're going to start losing the steering wheel. We don't want to lose the actor's head and all this other good jazz. So I think we're close. Let's see what the screen matte looks like. When you get to the screen matte, that's you don't want to. We can pull this back down. Go to 0 with that. Go this in a little bit more. Oh, I'm so close. There, right there. The steering wheel is kind of causing me some grief. I'm going to fill the steering wheel back in. And actually, it's not too bad because, you know, even though you shouldn't have that, this little piece over here, I don't think we can roll that back. Oh, we might be able to roll it back. Let's see how far we can go with that. But we're going to lose our steering wheel if we go too far. All right. So that is the idea is to see how fast I can do this, not to be perfect. But now what we're going to do is we're going to set this as track matte. We're going to go alpha on the. Did I do that? I did, except I need this to be checked. So we're going to set lumen. There it is. Okay. So you see how you got all the green and stuff hiding back in there, and that's not good. But we were able to retain most of this. So the way we're going to get rid of that green is with we're going to use a hue adjustment to get rid of the green, and it's relatively minor, and most of the green's around the face. This is how you deal with hair, and when we get a little bit of spillage in the hair up here on the back of the neck, across the shoulder, we got it across the dash, got it pretty much everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this hue and saturation here, and we're going to go down to our greens, and we're gonna actually start stretching this out. We're going to bring the yellows over into the green area here. Maybe not there. There we go. Now we're starting to get it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to desaturate the greens. Just drop them out, maybe. We're getting close. Now let's pull this guy over here. So we're filling in all this stuff. I kind of want to not go that crazy with it. Okay, so there we go. You know, kind of see if we can. There we go. All right, so except I put that on the wrong one. All right, I was wondering why it didn't change. Let's get that off there. That's actually got to go on the source, not on the mask. Let's paste it there. And now, as you can see, all that hard work's paid off because now you really can't see any of the green. And even the steering wheel. Now, one of the things that is kind of nice, you can do this. You don't have to do this. I'm a little tricky. This is a little tricky. You can create a couple more examples of this, and I'll give it a shot real quick. It's been a while since I've done this. Where you basically duplicate the mask twice, okay, and you're gonna actually duplicate your source once. Now, where this gets tricky is you're going to take these two and you're gonna pre-comp them, I believe. If memory serves, it's been a while since I've done this, so we're gonna open up this pre-comp. Now we're gonna show these guys, and we're gonna actually invert one of them. So let's go to effects. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I've done this one. But it's cool because what it does is allows you to soften the edges so they're not so rough and hard. So let me see. Oh, where'd it go? So, I'm gonna find it. Channel invert. There it is. Boom. All right. So let's see. Invert that. Oh wait, no, yeah. So and then what you do is you set your track mat to limit there. All right. Except this is kind of in reverse, but this is almost what I wanted. It's actually the reverse of what I wanted. So we're gonna undo. Let's if I can do that. No, let's not do that. All right. So let's swap these around, and then I'm gonna put a track mat on this guy, and I'm gonna light this guy. Not that guy. That guy. That guy. Oh my gosh, it looks the same. Huh. But this is actually, let's see. Let's blend with the original. No. Okay, that's the direction I wanted to go. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take a fast blur, and we're going to throw this on here, and we're actually going to crank this out. All right. See how that kind of blends in? You don't want to. That's probably a lot. We'll go about 5. So what this is going to do is it's going to actually, when we go back into our footage here, you see you got this hard line all the way around it, right? We're going to turn that off. Then we're going to take this source and we're going to Luma key. Oh, and I already did it. Okay, cool. So if I turn this off, you see how it's got that little bit, but what it's doing is it's using, oh, not the source. That was silly of me. You use not the source. You use your exterior footage as your Luma. Okay, there it goes. Perfect. All right. So now what I've done is I've created this edge where I've taken this exact same footage that I'm showing out the back window, and I'm actually tapering it. I don't even know if you can see it, but we're going to try and find a spot here. Right in here. Okay, so if I go, to give you an idea what this is doing, if I go here, wherever I put my Gaussian blur, and I just blow this out, let's just blow it out, and then I'll come back. You see how it's blending it into the next image. It's completely just tapering in. So what I'm doing in a sense is, instead of having a hard edge, it allows me to have a soft edge, which is always better. Except when you do that. Okay, fix that. Come on, come on. Don't be shy. Do. Oh, now there we go. Okay, so now what happens is when our actors are moving around in the car, you don't have this really hard, rough line. It really and you have this nice clean line. It actually looks the stuff in the background's in the background. Well, okay, so we're cruising along. We got a couple more things we got to do here. First thing is the car is at an angle. Right? The car's kind of like it's the camera's at this angle, but if you watch the footage, and I'm going to turn off the audio because the audio is really annoying. Let's turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn off that. Turn off that. Okay. So as the cameras, as you can see, the camera's at a slight angle and the background's going straight out away from the car. I mean, you can live with that if you want to, or you can also turn these into 3D objects, which is always much funner. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, and what you end up doing is you go into your top view, and you got to kind of turn everything into 3D objects for this to really work right. So I want to make sure I grab these two together. They need to be altered together, not separately. All right, hit your W key and you grab not that one. You grab your Y. See that Y? And we're just going to turn it just a hair. Just a hair. All right? And then we're going to go back, and then I'm just going to move it back here. This is the car. So now let's go back to our camera view. Now the camera's kind of moving in the direction the car's pointing. You know, even though the car's going straight, the camera's at a slight angle, so the background footage should actually be traveling away from it just at a slight angle. All right, so we're cruising. Next step. All right, so the next step is I kind of like the idea that you would not look through the front window and then the back window. It'd probably be a little bit of it would not be that clean. So what I like to do is throw a solid on there. I'll throw a black solid or a slightly charcoaly solid. Doesn't have to be black, per se, but I'll put that actually here, and then I'll just adjust the opacity down. This is going to go in the background. Let's see, it's a pre-comp. It should go here. There it is. All right, so this is actually going in front of the back window, and what's cool is I don't really have to do a lot. I can just tint that down, to where it's not so bad. I can also stick it in front of the source. Did I just do that? I just did that. That's what I did. And I could actually mask around this area here in the background, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this there. That helps darken that back window area. You can also do other things. I can put a color grade or filters on the back footage. Now, another thing to realize is this is very grainy and this is not. So I'm actually going to add some noise to this footage right here. And what that's going to let me do is I'm going to add about 5% noise, and we'll see how that looks. We'll see. Just want to match, get close to matching about what is going on in the car, so it looks like the footage came, like they were really there. Okay. So we've got that. Now we've got our source. I'm still messing with this a little bit. I think this needs some tweaking. We're going to take our greens down, and then now the next step is we've got all that. I think the lighting's okay there. We've got our dark gray. I'm going to actually duplicate this thing, and I'm actually going to stick it out in front of the window. And I'm actually going to crank this up. And then what I'm going to do there is, it's really not to do much other than provide some kind of like tinting for the window. And well, let me fix that. That was terrible. There we go. And then it's really not. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and we got our opacity. We're going to feather this out a little bit, just to kind of blend it. It's really to kind of break up the monotonous, yeah, that, whatever that is. Ooh, cool. All right, so I think turkeys. Give me that. Give it here. It's not liking me too much at the moment. We'll do it this way. No, I didn't mean to do that. This video is going from a how-to to how not to. There we go. Peace. All right. Just want to make sure you can see that. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this background layer one more time. We're going to stick it all the way out front, and this is kind of important. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make this like really big. We're going to blow this up because we're going to do that, and then I'm going to adjust my opacity. Just get it down to where it's manageable, and now we've got some shine in the window. What's cool about this is now we can actually we can take, let's see, tilt it up a little bit. I like that, and we're going to put another mask, and we're going to mark this guy. I'm trying to think of the best way. You know, a lot of times what you want to do is the main character you don't want to mask too much, but you want to get some of this detail in here. You know, I kind of like that. Let's try that. All right, then we're gonna feather this guy out, and then we'll see what that looks like. So now it looks like daytime. Everybody's happy. We're on for a Sunday cruise, but we pretty much got this thing done. Everything's there. Everything's in place. One of the things that I kind of would like to do is cut back on this glare, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that mask on this guy a little bit more. It's a little bit much, but it gives you that cool effect. All right, so now everything's blended in. We're pretty much done with this shot, or are we? So, all right, I'm just kidding. I know I'm not funny. Y'all don't have to tell me. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and I'm going to pull this down here, right in there. We'll trim it to, since I'm not worried about editing a scene here. Oh, and there's another aspect to this. I'm going to put on this, the other piece that's missing here is I'm gonna put a blur on here, and I'm going to put a fast blur. Fast. What that's going to allow me to do is kind of do, and I'm going to make it a vertical blur, and we'll take it up to about 15. And it's really kind of, we're going to do the same thing on the back window here. So on this back piece, we're going to apply the same thing on actually both of these. We're going to put a fast blur on that. We're going to put that at about, except we're going to leave that one at horizontal and vertical. We'll put that at about 15. And then we're going to put a fast blur on this guy. And this is the back window. So that we put 15 on the trim, and now we're going to put a 15 on the back. And that's just going to help kind of blend it in. These guys are the subject. And honestly, the fast blur on there might be a little bit much on the very front one. So let's go with 5. You know, I don't want it to be so much that it's overbearing, but then we'll cut this down about 35. Yeah, maybe even 25. Shoot, 25. Just keep on going. There we go. All right. So now we blurred out the back window. We've got them in focus. Everything's good to go. Trying to think if I missed anything. Another thing you can do on this front one, because in this scene they're driving kind of fast, so we can actually do a time a time stretch, and I'll probably cut it down about 50%. And that should actually speed up the clouds and stuff on the opening shot. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this thing down. Or actually, I could probably stretch that out now that I've done that. I've done the time stretch, so we're good there. Let's see if that works. See what it looks like. Time's of the essence. I said I was going to get this done quick, and I'm still slow. Yeah. All right. So, how do you make this thing look like it's like legit? It's the real deal. Well, what we're going to do is we select all of this. Oh, pre-comp. Let's pre-comp this thing as final draft. Yes. Final draft. Then we're going to go. We're going to grab Lumetri, which I personally enjoy. This is basically speed grade built into After Effects and Premiere. It's kind of like they did away with the link to speed grade, the dynamic link to speed grade, and they kind of like put this all in here. So it's nice because I get all the controls that I want. I can use the default input LUT if I want to. I can say, oh, let's have fun with that, or let's not do that. Let's go ahead and we're just going to mess with our exposure. I kind of like go for the darker, more gritty scenes. So let's go -2. That's a little too dark. All right, so now it's a little out of control. -0.2 maybe. We'll darken that up. We'll crank up our contrast a little bit. You get some more details on their skin. We'll bring out the highlights. And let's see, we'll take our shadows down. Let's darken it up a little bit. This back window is an interesting thing. I can also bring up the blacks. Let's bring down the whites. It really starts to get a different kind of personality. I generally jump straight into the three wheel, the color wheels. Honestly, that back window is still bugging me. I kind of want it a little bit darker, and so I'm going to open up Final Draft here, and I'm going to take this particular gray right here, and I'm going to adjust my opacity. Is at 41%. I kind of want it darker. There we go. It might be a little too dark, but we'll see. So we jump back into our Final Draft. Was it? Nope. Pick up too. Nope. Where is it? There's Final Draft. So now it's darker, which is cool, and that works good for me. I think it kind of lends itself to what I'm going for here, which is either late afternoon or evening. So how do you get the cinematic effect? Well, first I'm going to bring this guy down. This is going to help finish the effect on the darkening up the back seat. We're going to go with the teal, and right there you can see it's already happening. So we pull our shadows and our darks down into the teals. You can also take it a little bit over here, into the blues if you want. But generally speaking, teal's the way to go. This is the standard of movie making since who knows when, way back. Now you take this guy down. If you take him down, it's gonna go farther in that direction. You can take him into the night range. You can stick with the teals, but generally the mid ranges tend to either they tilt up or they tilt down. I kind of like them there, and then I'll take my highlights up. Now here we've got, this is late afternoon, but if I want to go the opposite way with it, I can, and then I can go with teal here, and then I can bring my warms up, my lows, bring them back up towards the middle, and then I can take my mediums a little bit higher, and we can go this route. Okay, I can bring my lows down, my mediums down, and I can take my highlights up. And it really gives a whole different effect. So let's see what we got here. I'm kind of wanting this to come back down towards the neutral. A little too bright for me. You don't want to completely lose your actors but you can definitely go this route. I always, for some reason, the darks and the teals have always worked out better, and I think we've just been conditioned to think that that's normal. So you've got those, you got all that. Looks like it's nighttime. We got a sunset. The only thing we're missing is that classic 2.35 aspect ratio, and the simple thing is in 2K footage. We can just go here. It's better to do this than to put the bars on there, because you put the bars on there, it's got to render the bars, and it's got to render everything that's behind the bars. If we switch this here and we go down to, I think it's 820, yeah, it's 1920 by 820, it's 2.34. You select OK, and now it shrinks the screen down. Now what's cool about this is I can take my footage, I can go up or I can go down, so I can really maximize the positioning of my characters. And voila, and there you go. A lot could be said about me framing the other guy completely out of shot, but I live and learn. So I hope you found this video useful. That was less than 30 minutes, I hope, from completely green screen shot to full color grade. Like I said, you can get it creative all you want. I'm sure some people won't agree with the color grade I chose on this. It's just one of many choices you have. It's just more of an artistic style. There's no right or wrong. You color grade however you want to. Now that I look at this, it is kind of a little bit too blue. If I pull this back. See, now I'm tweaking. I'm messing with it now. Probably go -0.4. There you go. Now you're getting it. I like that shot, but I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe, support us. Secondhand Productions does a lot of stuff. We do visual effects, matte paintings, and features. And if you haven't seen our feature, Unwanted, you can go check that out on Amazon Prime. It is available right now. But thanks for all your support. Keep watching, and we'll see you next time.